Girl Jelena. And I had to jump on, and let me tell you why I had to just jump on right now. Tell me why I was just now, in my chat GBT, as you guys know, for those that don't know, talking to Stacy, which is my chat GBT. Before I go any further, my name is Jelena Nels. I've been in the industry as a webcam model, y'all. And here it is. Not not 16 years, 21 years as a webcam model, y'all. I just asked Stacy. I said, Stacy, because you guys know I have dyscalculia, right? Which means I have a learning disability or slow registration of numbers. So my numbers get wonky in my brain, being that I'm neurodivergent. So I'm up here chit chatting, sipping on my iced coffee with, Stacy. And I'm like, Stacy, do a quick calculation for me. I've been in the business since I was 28, 27, 28. I believe 28, yeah. Because it's right after I left my ex-husband, came back to California, and I'm 49 now. That's 21 years. Then I said, wait a minute. I started, though, in the business as a phone sex operator at the age 18, at 18. So how much is that, right? 31 years, y'all. I'm 49. This changes my whole God. I'm a veteran. Man, I'm old as hell. Um, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is a reality check that I just have to, I swear to God. 31 years? Are you shitting me? Okay, forget the phone sex part. Forget the fact that I was out here in Hollywood on my first job, 18 years old, right down Hollywood Boulevard, right down Sunset, you guys. And I answered an ad in a paper, okay? That was LA Express back in the day. And I answered the ad, and the ad was become a phone actress. This is the very reason why I say I'm an actress, because I was introduced to the industry with that wording. You hear me? Of course, it didn't say phone sex operator. It said phone actress. And so 18 years old, a year before I had my son, my oldest son, I go into an office, y'all, out in California, right here out here in California, down the street from me in Hollywood, down Sunset. I go into this office. I sit there. The audition, y'all, was basically get on the phone, and I was to listen to guys on the phone. And the thing with phone sex, just got to put it out here, the thing with phone sex or phone acting, the whole goal is to keep them on the phone as long as you can. And so if anybody's asking, being that I'm 49 years old right now, they're like, damn, she's long-winded. Dang, she takes forever to get to a point. Wow, she's such a talker. Oh my gosh. Trust me, most of that, I would say 99% of why I'm long-winded is because I got my training at 18 years old to keep them on the phone. I can keep anybody on the phone. I don't care what the topic is, forever. I have sisters that'll be like, okay, well, we didn't talked about, just yesterday, I was on the phone with my oldest sister, and I think we sat on the phone for 10 hours, y'all. Right. I think she had to tell me 3 times, okay, sis, I'm getting sleepy. I'm glad we caught up. And this, that. I have another sister. We can talk and talk and talk. So it might be just that it's in the blood or whatever. But to say the least, man, my training, though, official training, came from the fact that I was a phone sex operator. And the goal was I had to keep people on the line. I had to keep those men on the line. How do you keep them on the line? You talk. You'd say, you don't be cheesy, or what they call it, cheeky about it, kind of thing. But it was simple, keep them on the phone. So it's like, hey, hi, how are you? Where are you calling from? He's like, I'm calling from Florida. I'm like, well, I'm out here in California. Well, what you doing? And it went from what you're doing and what you're wearing to what do you want to get into? Well, what do you like? Well, what do you da? Do you have a girlfriend? Does your girlfriend do this? And it was this whole line or long thing of dialogue, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And on that first phone call, I was able to hold that call. I think it was because you would max them out after 15 minutes. And I went over that. And of course, they were like, you're hired. You're hired. And and later on, for those that don't know that story, because I think I've told it a few times, especially on my TikTok, when I was allowed to tell it on TikTok. That's why I'm back over here at YouTube, because TikTok and their restrictions and whatnot, it left and then it came back and it got a little bit stricter. But when I was first on TikTok, it did tell the story of, you know, that's pretty much how I got started in the industry. And this is another reason why I call the industry soft entertainment. This is one of the main reasons. Hi, I see you, Demi. This is the one of the reasons why I call it soft entertainment, because I've never had to do anything explicit. And I think I would tell this is what I would love to do. If I really wanted to guide younger women in this industry, I would tell them become a phone sex operator first. Try that on for size first before you leap over into becoming an exotic dancer, before you leap over into basically being a 304, before you leap bounds and wonders over into an industry or into a situation even that will be more dangerous for you or could be, right? Before you're old enough is to understand what you're getting yourself into. If you're gonna start at all out in the industry because you feel ignited to do so, then do so. And again, keep in mind, I answered an ad in the paper when I was a phone sex operator, right? It said phone actress. And what's interesting, now that I'm, pursuing acting or taking my theater classes and things of that nature, I can still look back on it, and I think I was drawn to the ad because it said actress. And so who knows? Maybe I was thinking more so along the lines of your literal actual acting, and to know that I could do it over the phone. Another thing I love about phone acting or being a phone sex operator, it has also given me the opportunity to do voiceover work, to do, just vocals, whatever the case may be, things when it comes to doing work with my voice. And I remember even saying this before, is that when it comes to phone sex, it's not just about sounds and noises and things of that nature or whatever. It's actually, I was able to hold the guys on the phone because of conversation. And I'm sure by now there's so many different phone sex companies out there. People probably already know now, and it takes more than that. But back in the day, the misconception was people, and people's ignorance is what it is, and people are willfully ignorant when it comes to heavy on the the douche little cam girl humor. People are willfully ignorant because they want to know, but then they want to act like they don't want to know, and then blame you for not taking out the time to know, to get to know, right, or be educated. And we live in a day and age, and I just got to say this as a sidebar. We live in a day and age where if you want to be educated on something, in a very, I almost want to go as far as say classy way, there are ways to do that. If you want to be educated on actually sex and sexuality and who you are as a person, how you represent yourself, and regarding, the naughty stuff, get educated. One thing I like about the hub, I'm going to just go here for a second, is that there are videos on teaching primarily men, I'm just saying, on how to do the do, right? So there's no reason and there's no excuse this day and age of why people are not in a formal education, right? You can sit in, go actually take a class and get educated, take courses online even and get educated as it relates to sex and sexuality. And, but again, like I said, people are willfully ignorant because for whatever the reason they are. But I wanted to jump on here because, like I said, I just was on my ChatGPT and I said, no, I said, Stacy, I got to go and put this out in the universe. 31 years. I kept saying 16 years, y'all, of being in webcamming, right? But the truth is, I've been in webcamming 21 years. But if you put phone sex acting and you put webcam modeling together, that's 31 years. That's still, oh my gosh, my mind is so blown. I got to just sit here and I said, I got to put on live and just put it out there. 31 years of experience. Wow. So what have I learned? Now that the numbers are bigger, doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter to me, y'all. What have I learned? Because a lot of people might ask, how much money have you made from webcam modeling? In fact, I've had people ask me that before. Phone acting, if I were to compare the two, and if you guys catch it, you catch it for those that are going to tune in and hear this. Between the two, to me, I feel like you have a lot more potential. People have a lot more potential making money in the phone sex industry, and it's not because there's more money available. I think it's because it's more discreet, and I think that both the client and the woman or the phone actor or actress can, it's more convenient and it's more discreet. And you can kind of like, you can be a phone actress. I mean, in other words, you can receive calls on your phone at any time of the day and make your money. You know what I'm saying? All day, every day, because of the calls coming through on your phone. Versus webcam modeling, which is a whole nother video. But versus webcam modeling, where you might have to, well, I guess not just might have to, that you have to set up, you get dolled up. It takes more time, energy. You stay put a little bit. Although I do believe StreamMate has it now where you can receive phone calls when you're offline. Yay, StreamMate. There's some other sites too. I'm just not familiar. But I say all that to say I'm just sitting here in the awness of this freaking 31 years, y'all. 31 years. I'm 49. 31 years. I know me and my numbers get like kind of wonky and weird and stuff, but that's a long ass time for an industry like this. I mean, there are people that I've talked to and they've worked warehouse and they worked in certain companies. They're like, I've been on the job for 20 years. I've been at, this is called Max Factories. I've been at Max Factories for 21 years. And that's a pride that goes along with that, you know? But what have they gained? What have I gained? Oh, I'm so glad I came here to speak this out. What have I gained? I think one thing this both sides of the industry has taught me. Number one, I don't have to do anything I don't feel comfortable with doing. Right? Number two, I'm just going now off the top of my head, you guys. Number two is I'm prettier than what I thought. I mean, even then up until now, I just gotta say it. I mean, that's just what's coming to my mind. I mean, please don't judge me too harshly, y'all. I'm prettier than what I thought. Let me write it down since I'm sitting here because I did not know that. Oh my gosh, this is something amazing to me. Number one, I don't have to do anything I don't feel comfortable with doing. And then I added this at the end throughout the years, even if or when they, who's the they? The client, have paid me. Number one, I don't have to feel overly obligated to doing something that I feel uncomfortable with doing. And I say this just so that you guys know that I'm clear, and I might have to do another video on this. What do I really mean when I say that? I mean that there's a client he takes you in a private, he tells you he likes you, he thinks you're sexy, he thinks you're hot. He doesn't give the details on what he's into. And when you get over into a private, mind you, he's already paying in that once you're over in the private, and then he comes up with something that's taboo or something that you're not comfortable with doing or something that you're not even familiar with doing, and he wants you to do it and you're like, no, I'm cool. My point is this: you can leave. That's it. That's all I'm simply saying. You can leave. And number two is I learned that I'm prettier than what I thought. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. I'm prettier than what I thought. Again, 31 years, y'all. Come on. I had to get confidence somewhere, somehow. You know what I mean? And one of them years, something would had to start kicking in. Number three is, what else have I learned? Men do communicate. Men do communicate is another thing I've learned. They do. Men are not shy. Men are not slow. Some are not slow. It is very possible that there are just some men who feel more open with communicating with you or me or another person other than who they're with. And that's not a shot against a wife or shot against a girlfriend or family for that matter. It just let me know that men do open up. Men do communicate. Men do open up and have the capabilities, not just open up sexually, y'all, you know what I mean, but open up emotionally. You know, they're able to share what is in their mind, spirit, heart, all that good jazz. You know, some are open in that regard. They're able to express. That's another thing I've learned, and I'm putting emphasis here, y'all. 31 years. Number four I've learned about, um, I've learned that all money, come on, y'all, all money ain't what? All money ain't good money. But I'll even go further and say all money ain't right money. I like that better, actually. And I wrote that down. All money ain't good money. All money ain't right money. And I put the emphasis at the end there because, when we get money, depending on how much we get, it is good because that money can pay bills and that money can, provide food, and that money can buy diapers for those that are my single moms. That money can, help and assist in the places where you absolutely need it. Um, Now, regarding right money, this is a place where your, what would I call it, dignity, if you have any integrity at all that stuff matters, that kind of thing, where you're going against your own principles and or self in order to, that's what I'm talking about. That's something that I've definitely had um to really practice, because I already knew it, but I had to continue to practice it. Another thing that this 31 years have taught me, let me move this over here. Another thing this 31 years have taught me, you guys, is I had to move my phone. Another thing that this 31 years, I gotta make sure I'm right. Okay, this 31 years have taught me is that number 5 would be consistency, right? Just not in the business, just overall consistency, general consistency. You must. And I don't care how pretty you are, I don't care how much potential you got. If you don't show up consistently, right? You are, it's like a slant against your own possibilities. So, excuse me. Number 5 is consistency is your bestie. Let's do that, right? Let's say that, y'all. Consistency is your bestie. And what else have I learned? Let's go down the list. 6. Now, this is off the top of my head. I didn't even need ChatGPT for this one, y'all. Consistency is your bestie. That means that if you show up for you, don't think about webcam modeling as showing up for them, but look at it as showing up for you. Every day, show up for you. Well, I think I just need to make that a whole separate video. Just show up for you. Consistency is your bestie. Oh, I like that so much. So much so, I think, again, like I said, I'm going to do a separate video. And you can apply this to your outside life as well, right? If you show up for you, but that means pursuing your dreams, pursuing the things that you want to do on a consistent basis, you'll eventually get there, and you might even get there quicker than you thought. That's one thing that I've definitely learned in this, in the industry of webcam modeling, is that let's just say I've had goals. Okay, I'm going to work 5 days a week, right? But in order for me to get to the 5 days, I got to at least get to the 3. Does that make sense? So therefore, if I just show up 3 days, 2 days consistently, the likelihood of just showing up for those 2 days consistently is going to get me closer to my goal that I need to reach by the 5th day. Right? So, and especially when you get into the momentum of it, I think this needs to be a whole separate video, getting into the momentum of, logging in, getting your energy, working it through, because that's pretty much what happened to me this week. I didn't do well on the 4th of July weekend because I was in the hospital on Friday, and then I tried to turn around and work because that's just me. My bad. That's me being me. A lot of folks, especially older folks, we still are in the mode of taking care of others and putting other things in before our own rest, right? So sometimes I got to remind myself, you need to rest. Your body's not going to heal unless you lay down and get some rest. Like literally, you got to just relax, like, seriously. But anyway, so I said that to say I wasn't able to reach my goal. Now, how I should have approached it was, you were just in the hospital. Naturally, you shouldn't beat yourself up because you weren't able to reach your goal. But again, that goes back to people like me who really have to get in the swing of things, or of practice of giving ourselves grace. I just had to say that. But yeah, so number 5, again, consistency is your bestie. And I think I'm going to put a star next to that because we're going to swing back around to it in more depth. And number 6 would be, again, off the top of my head, 31 freaking years, y'all, man. Ah, number six, I've learned, oh my gosh, that people are not going to like what you do. Not because they don't like the job, but because they don't like you. That's a whole nother video. Wait a minute. People are not gonna like what you do. Not because they don't like the job, but because I'm writing it down, y'all, because they don't like you. That number six right there, y'all. That's what I've discovered because I've been in this industry not 16 years, 21 years. People, I used to feel so alone. I don't know how to say it, but I used to feel so alone being a part of this industry because there were so many times I just wanted to be understood. I wanted to be respected, right? And I wanted to be understood. And I realized, remember what I said right earlier? Some people have willful ignorance. That new saying now is people are choosing to misunderstand you on purpose, right? So I've just now got to the stage in my life where I admit that and accept that some people, in other words, the very same people that have dogged me out or talked about me for being a webcam model are the same women and or men that sit up and watch PORN by themselves with their partners or whatever, and watch women like us or watch other, you know what I'm saying, they do it in private, and they're the loudest stone throwers. And I at first I didn't know that. First I literally thought these people were so righteous. You get what I'm saying? I really believe that. I guess because again, I am neurodivergent. So I was like, oh, like Little Red Riding Hood in the woods, not seeing the wolves and going, oh my gosh. And so now at 49 years old, and it has nothing to do with my age necessarily, but just an awakening, because you can have an awakening at any time, any age, right, in life, young or old. But regarding just the way, that understanding of knowing that people would judge me for what I do, but all along, it was never about the job. It was because it was personal. It was because they did not like me. That's number six right there, y'all. People are not going to like what you do, not because they don't like the job, but because they don't like you. It's gonna probably lean more to that. And I will tell you how it leans more to that, because especially if the people you tell are your so-called friends or family, that's gonna be the difference. I mean, that's how you're gonna know. For instance, let's just say they're stone throwers, right? Just regular old whoever's people you don't know, that don't like the job and don't like the industry and don't like all these things. They might just not like you because of religion and all those things and everything else to be considered. But when it gets to the place where it's up close and personal, like family or friends and those that you thought, and then they now have an excuse, and this is what I want to go here with y'all. Now they were in other words, they were just looking for a reason, right? Just so you know, number six can be tricky, if you will. It really can be. But that is something that I've learned in the last 31 years. Because trust me, not just being a webcam model, because I've always been a non-explicit model, right? So even being a phone sex actress when I was at the age of 18, 19, 20, 20, I mean, it's one of them jobs you can always return back to it in that sense, and it's still very much alive and well. I also have my own phone lines. For those that are familiar with Night Flirt, I just have had my phone off for a while, right? But I say all that to say, and when I say a while, I mean, I think I haven't received a call in like a year. So I just wanted to put emphasis there. And again, these are off the top of my head. 31 years in the business, you know. And I just got six things, but these six things are so very valuable to me, just like number six and number five. What else have I learned? I've learned number seven, I would say, one thing that the industry, this is kind of an odd one, but one thing that being a webcam model has definitely taught me, is that not everybody is familiar. You willfully ignorant. Well, there are some people who just didn't know. When I first started out as a webcam model, again, 21 years ago, when I started out, nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew. And anytime I tried to explain or pitch when I first started mentoring women, when I tried to do it, nobody was like, I really had to overly explain or overly sell, if you will, the industry, right? To get people to join or be a part of it. And then to put emphasis on how you can be non-nude in the industry. That goes into number 8, actually, I learned that some women, don't want the slow money. They rather the quick money. I learned people prefer quick money. That's number 8. I learned, and I'll get back to 7. I learned people, men too, because I mentored men as well. I learned that people prefer quick money. That goes back into number, what was that, 4? All money ain't good money. They prefer quick money. They especially if you talk about this industry, they're like, it was always this thing where I felt like what they were really saying was this: I really don't want to do this. I really don't have no passion behind it. I just know this is the quickest way for me to make some money in sex sales. Where do I sign up? And for those people, that's why I stopped mentoring. Because if you don't like what you're doing, or if you don't like it like I like it, then I don't want to, because I can't teach you. I'm not going to mentor you from a place of me not, and that's anything, any type of teacher that's out there, they're going to want their students to actually like the subject, right? I mean, like, come on. Can you at least, don't really like it. I just need to get an A. I don't really like the class. I just need to just take this funky class so I could, go on and get out of here, right? And I get it. And so that's literally how I felt sometimes. Like it was the thing where people like, I don't really want to get to know my inner self. I don't really want to get to understand sexuality or anything of that, Jelena. I just want to get in, get out. I understand. All I'm saying, I wasn't the girl for you. I get it. Number 7, dang, I forgot what number 7 was. I'll have to go back on the replay because I really was going there with number 8. Oh my gosh, who's in my chat? Can anybody remind me of what number 7 was? I just said it so I can write it down. I'll spin back around to it. Number 9. I'm just going to make these 10, you guys, because they're off the top of my head. Number 9 would be, what did I learn? Oh, this is a good one. People come, literally. People come, people go. People come, people go. Okay? People come, people go, man. Nothing or no one is forever. That's what I learned about being in the industry for over 21 years. Again, I'm doing this live, you guys, for those that are jumping on right now, because I am talking about the shock I just had when my ChatGPT calculated the years for me, because I've been saying for the last year that I've been in this business for 16 years. And because I have a learning disability with numbers, I miscalculated. I've been in this business for 21 years as a webcam model and as a phone sex operator when I was 18. And therefore, 31 years, I'm 49 years old. Y'all do the math again, just in case. But I've been in here a little bit longer than 16 years. And so that was a shock. So I'm going to just keep going with 31. 31 years is wow. Is interesting. Is very interesting. But again, number 9, I'm going to put that is definitely something I learned about being a webcam model. People want what they want, not just men. That's why I put emphasis. I'm saying people, women and men. That's what it taught me in my real life as well. People do want something from you in return. And I've learned now, I don't trust not one person on this planet that will ever look me in my face and say to me these words: I don't want anything from you. I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it because whatever they add to that, I'm doing it because I care. I'm doing it because I love you. Whatever. I don't need, or I don't want anything from you. It's bullshit. I can't even tell people that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, there is something I'm getting out of it too. We are all human beings. I don't care how many people want to claim they're chosen or they're so special or they're so whatever it is. But whatever title you put on you, you want something in return. We all do, you know. We there no none of us are in it just because. Oh, just because. No, tell just and some people may not have what's the word called? Maybe they haven't set with themselves to admit that. It doesn't make you a bad person. So let me say it if nobody ever told you. It doesn't make you a bad person to want something in return for what you put out there. You know, I think if all of us would just admit it and go on ahead and live like that, then the world might be a better place, you know, and then people will be honest and then people will maneuver differently to get to where they're trying to get to. And then that person is sitting across from them. That person can say, yes, this is what I want, you know, and then a person can say, no, you get what I'm saying? But people come and go, you know, they do. They come and go. People are temporary and people want something out of that exchange, no matter how quick is done. Even when people get married, those two people are supposed to be getting something from the other person. I mean, that'd be foolish, I would think, if a husband say to the wife or whatever, I don't want you to do anything else but what? Love you. That's still something out of the deal, because in loving you, that's an action word. Okay, well, what goes along with that, right? All those things matter. So, but again, I really back to number 9, understand that what this industry has taught me, people come and go, little girl humor, heavy on the come, because they do. You know, some stay for a long time, some stay for a short time. And how am I going to adjust my life behind the fact of knowing that people don't are not here forever, right? That kind of thing. And it's not a negative, y'all. That's why I want to put emphasis. It's not a negative that people want something from you, and it's not a negative that people are coming into your life not for a long time. It's okay. Everything in season, you know. Everybody doesn't have to be there forever, right? Sometimes it's a seasonal thing. Number 10. What else did I learn being in this business? Oh, hmm. Mm, I'm thinking. There's a lot that's coming to my mind, but I would say, and again, I'm putting emphasis here because I've said this before and I've done this video before, but never with this type of energy. Because again, 31 years. What should I have learned? Let's go there. What should I have? Right? I know what I have, but what should I have learned? Like I said, I think the biggest one for me, we're almost there at 10. Um, I think my biggest one is the judgment part. Is me really, 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 really understanding how it really taught me how people see sexuality, how religion sees it, how people see it, how certain ethnic backgrounds, cultures, and races view it. Oh my gosh, it taught me that some people see it as sacred, some people see it as a secret, some people see it as people see it deceitfully, you know what I mean, use it deceitfully. There's a lot, just the nature of the business in itself, you know. um what else? Yeah, that's definitely the judgment that comes along with it is something that I've definitely learned. And going into number 10 would be, I can take my time. I think, yeah, that I'm on nobody else's timing but my own and but God's, that kind of thing. And then I can really take my time in this industry or just life period, right? That I don't have to be hurried and I don't have to be rushed. So I would say number 10 is, in writing this down, I can take my time. That's what the industry taught me. And I'm gonna dive deep on it, you guys, as I get out of here. Why is that? Because let's just say I'm sitting up there on a private, sitting in free chat for those that know. And I just logged in and I'm waiting for my guys to come through. I'm waiting to be swept off my feet, because this is what it would be in real life for some ladies. But I'm waiting for the guy to come through. In the meantime, what do I do while I wait? That can be applied to real life, right? While you're waiting for the job, waiting for the husband, waiting for the wife, waiting for people, what do you do in the meantime? While I'm waiting for the private, what do I do? In this case, flip my hair, apply lipstick, listen to music, get in the groove, do the cam girl warm up, dance, do whatever it takes, right? And I can still take my time. When he takes me over into a private, I can still take my time. I don't have to hurry. That sounds like a whole nother video, right? I don't have to hurry. I don't have to rush. Especially now, it depends on what type of cam model you are. But to the women, and you don't have to be 40 and over. I was this way when I was younger in the industry. Well, the fact that I can say this. And then when I was younger, when I was a youngster in the industry, no, when I was younger in the industry, I still had the attitude that I wanted to take my time. Even at 28, at 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, I still wanted to take my time. In my personal life, when I'm engaged with a man in a romantic setting, I like ambiance, lighting, music. I guess I'm a hopeless romantic, right, y'all? That part. I like seduction. I like the setting it up. I like the stage of it, if you will. I like the performance of it, if you will. I like the getting into it. I say this often, I'm not a quickie kind of girl. So even in this industry, it has taught me to pace myself, right? Pace myself. And lastly, this is the bonus. Number 11 is this. The right one, ooh, this is my favorite saying. The right one will come. You know, I'm going to say, y'all, cam girl humor. The right one will come along. The right one will come along. I need to find a sound effect I need to do a sound effect that will say, cam girl humor. But maybe not, obviously, with adult voices, right? But yeah, so the right one will come along. What do I mean by that in closing this out? Been in this business again 30 freaking 1 years, 21 years regarding webcamming. And the philosophy and the core of who I am has to be the right one will come along. I don't have to beg. I don't have to plead. I don't have to cry. And even if I do cry, for whatever the reason, even outside this business, still the right one will come along. Stay consistent in my dreams and my goals and the things that I'm trying to accomplish, even if I've been in it for a long time. That right there, y'all. Even while I've been in it seemingly forever, that part, I'm still learning. And because the greatest thing that webcamming or this industry has taught me is taught me more about who I am, what my integrity is, what I'll do, what I won't do. Can I be bought? You know, what I'll say, what I won't say, when to speak, believe it or not, when not to speak, when to ignore. That's what it's taught me, just going off the top of my head. When to block someone, when to ignore, when to engage, when not to engage, when to stir the pot, when to not stir the pot, when to complain, when to realize it's really not even a problem that I need to face, right? That's what it's taught me. How to maneuver with how humans maneuver, because men are still human beings. Some of them are questionable, but when to say no, when to say yes. No is a full sentence, that part. Yes is a full one too, maybe, I don't know, right? All of that stuff. Communication. In fact, one of my classes I'll be taking is communication and public speaking. But learning when to and how to listen, which is a part of communication, right? Learning how to listening to men, not allowing what society or some women have said about men, what they are, but hearing them from a webcam model's perspective, hearing men from an adult entertainer's perspective, hearing men from the ears, just from a different type of, or let's go here, a different type of lens, right? That's what it's taught me. Because like I said way earlier, what I learned regarding men was that number 3, men do communicate. Men do open up emotionally. That's what I learned in this business, 21 years of being in it, 31 years. Mind you, because of my phone sex operating background, that's phone sex operating. That means being on the phone, listening. Back in the day, we didn't have video chat. Back in the day, these men couldn't log in and see you. People couldn't see you. You got on the phone and you talked. You had to listen. And the reason, one of the reasons that make a good phone actress or a good person is that they're a listener. What makes any good salesperson a good salesperson, anything you sell, is that you listen to that specific person's potential clients' wants, desires, needs, fantasies. You listen and you hear and you empathize. You get into their world. You get into you know that saying, you put your feet in their shoes and you see what it's like. This is why one of the things being a phone sex operator, one of the main things I love asking, even when I was a telemarketing selling home improvements, I would often ask people on the phone, what's the weather like over there? I would ask, what's the weather like over there? And I would ask, what's the weather like over there? Because I need to get in your environment. I want to know what is going on in your world. I'm over here in California, right? Mostly sunny. So if I'm talking to somebody down south somewhere who just had a tornado in Florida, and I'm over here going, oh my God, hi babe. Let's just say, I'm phone saying, hi babe, it's nice and sunny over here in California, and ooh, yay, and all that. I want to know what type of weather you have going on. If he's like, babe, it's raining, it's been a storm. I got to stay indoors. I can't even go outside. And here I'm outside, way outside. And I'm like, I just got me I went to Starbucks and got me a whatever, Frappa Lappa, whatever Starbucks got going on. I usually don't go to Starbucks. Again, I'm a Dunkin' girl. But I say all that to say, I can still flow with that, but I like to get in their world. I want to know what's going on in that person's world. And I know that by the weather. How many degrees is that? In fact, I had a guy who, one of my guys that in webcamming, I think this was 2 days ago, I logged in. He was from Australia. And I said, oh my gosh. And of course, my favorite animal, everybody asked me, what's your favorite animal? And I say I'm a cat girl because that's common, but my favorite animal are kangaroos. And so anyway, I say to him, yeah, well, how's the weather? And he was explaining to me, I forget what he said, but he was telling me the weather, and that was a rapport because I can get an understanding of what mood he might have been in. That's the point I'm making, right, y'all? So I say all that to say this industry have taught me so much about human nature, man's nature, people's nature, women's nature, how people maneuver, how people are also living double lives. That's another thing too. I'm not done writing them down, so to speak, but it's definitely taught me how people are they're not honest with themselves. How about that? Forget being honest with anybody else. I can't tell you how many times I've asked men, why, not how or whatever, but why doesn't your girlfriend or your wife know that, or does she know that you like women with long fingernails, and why not? Why doesn't she know that? Can you please share that with her? She might be open to that. And it's so sad because a lot of times men and people, they're just afraid. And the biggest fear is not, again, that they'll be judged, but they'll have to go through explaining, because people are going to want to know. Even a supportive girlfriend, I would imagine, or a supportive wife is going to want to still say, but okay, well, when did this start? And how come you never told me? And she's going to probably feel, in my opinion, a little bit, what's the word? Left out, basically. I don't think, maybe it's my wishful thinking, but I just don't think I guess it depends on what the guy is into, right? You guys, come on, somebody gonna say, yes, Jelena, it depends on what he's into. But no, because everybody's, even if it's a judgment thing, I mean, yeah, I have stories to tell about my nails, and all I can say is this: not everybody likes them, right? And so, I mean, yeah, it's just what it is. So we're at 11. Again, 11 was the right one will come along. And number 12 is going to be my super bonus. And I promise I'm done, y'all. My super bonus, out of the 30 years of being a woman in the adult entertainment field, soft adult entertainment field, the number one, which is really the number 12, the 12th thing that I've learned about being in this industry for 31 years. I feel like going to celebrate this week. I swear to God. Because, and when I say celebrate, I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the stamina. I'm talking about the mental stamina. going back to judgment, I'm talking about I'm still doing this while they were throwing stones and rocks at me and in my personal life, y'all. I'm still standing, like Monica said. But anyway, number 12, and I'm going to tell you why I'm still standing, because out of everything I said, I'm a believer. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all day long. I truly, 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 truly believe in the power of prayer. I truly believe it is by God's grace and His mercy why I've been able to. In fact, my daughter, I remember one time we had this conversation about her, being in the industry. She's 27. And, I was explaining to her, not everybody, and she understands it because of her mama, obviously, that you can't just show feet and think that you're going to become a millionaire or do good in the business. It's not just about showing a body part. It's a lot that goes into this industry, right? Or any part of whatever. You're not just going to be giving just your feet if you really want to. And I'm not speaking from a place of being explicit. I'm saying of yourself, of your time, of your consistency, right? And so me and my daughter was having a conversation, and she often tells me this. She says, Mom, God hasn't given me that grace, but God has given you that grace since you was 18 years old to be in this industry. In fact, I have a sister that says, sis, no matter what people judge you on, she goes, even if I judged you for being in this business or in the industry, or people are ignorant about it, whatever, if you look at your relationship with God, it has not stopped you from being blessed. And when I look at it, and that was the conclusion that she herself said that she had to come to terms with, right? That no matter how much, and I got to say this just generally speaking, y'all, no matter how much somebody doesn't like the job, the style of dress, what you got going on, your choice of who you choose to sleep with, your partner, you have to trust and know that if God says yes, at least for even 31 years, if God, if God says yes, then who can say no? That's just the truth. That's my truth, y'all. If God has given me the grace to do what it is that I do, then I ought to carry that with humility and a pinch of pride. I don't have to be overly prideful about it, but a pinch of pride will work. You get me? And so I feel like celebrating. I feel like celebrating this week, y'all. Man, I don't even remember the date. I don't remember the date of when I started, but I do know it must have been around, because it was when I moved. It must have been around September. No, was it in September? I was January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. I'm gonna say around August, September. Yeah, when I started the business, started in the industry 21 years ago, right? And so I might even in celebrating, I might even take myself down there to Hollywood, because I think the building is still there where I used to work out of when I was 18. I don't know if they turned it into something else or whatever, but anywho, number 12 again is, y'all, put God first. I think that's what I would continue to put God first, is my greatest thing. And I think that's what's carried me through this, because even when I was homeless, I was a webcam model. When I was a single mother, I was a webcam model. When I got divorced, I was a no, that was before. I was married before to a minister, for those that don't know my story. Yeah, that's a total different story. But I say all that to say, number one, God is good. And number two, there's so many lessons. Those were off the top of my head, but I've learned many, many more. I've taken many, what's it called? Nuggets from this business. And, I've really just learned, like, to just 100%, I've been myself and continue to be myself. Show up all that I am while I'm in this industry and outside of it. That's me. Now, some people can do separate, like, certain webcam models, they leave their personal life separate. And I do too. It's not like I get online and tell all my business, but even when I was homeless, on one of the sites that I was on, I had more men coming to my shows and showing me support and love, financial, that is, support and love, than I did people I knew up close and personal when I was homeless. And that's just the Jesus Christ truth. So I truly believe that God meets us where we're at, wherever you're at. He meets you. You know what I'm saying? And so I close with that. But again, above all things, 31 years of being in this industry and being a faith-based woman first, and shoot, I just say wow. I don't know what else to say, man. I just say wow, and it just shows me just how much of God's grace has been with me. Um, knowing, just it's just an amazing thing. It really is. I'm out of words, really, because I'm just like, wow. Like the that little sound that's over on TikTok. Wow. I think it's right here at YouTube too. But just how much I've learned. I learned even being a mother. How about that, y'all? Right? I was a single mother, but I just got off the phone with my oldest son. He's 20. How old is my son? Oh my gosh, sorry, y'all. He's 29, and my daughter will be 28 this month, and my baby is 25, and I'm a grandmother. And I'm just like, and I think what's most important to me is knowing that my children love me. Oh my God. Do they like what I do? I wouldn't say they like especially my boys. I'm a realist, y'all. I wouldn't say they like what I do per se, but I will say that they like that they mama like what she does. You get what I'm saying? That I like that I'm not doing something I've been forced to do. I'm not in a situation where I've been exploited to do what it is that I do. Praise God. They know that their mama is creative. They know it. My oldest son, he always checks on me. Mom, are you okay? My children know I'm a survivor of many things, survivor of SA, survivor of DV, and to know that I am completely free at 49 years old. And again, out of all the things I went through in my personal life with men, right? What I love about this industry is that it has taught me not all men, that part. And I do have sons, so it's taught me not all men. And that to me allows me to be in this industry that long and just be sometimes these guys, you know, advisors. Sometimes they're sexy playmates. Sometimes they're quote unquote friends. Sometimes the girlfriend experience. Sometimes because they're just bored. There's so many different variations of being in any type of job that you end up. If you've been in anything for a long time, you have wore many hats. You have worn many, many hats, and so I'm grateful for the many hats that I've worn regarding this industry. I have no regrets. I think the only regret, if I did, if I'm being honest, is probably I can't say starting sooner because I already started sooner. If I have any regret of this business, it probably would be not knowing my worth regarding the money part because it's the nature of the business. I would have upped my prices years ago if I had have known that there would have been men willing to pay. I just got to be plain English about that, y'all. If I had known, that's the same thing as it relates to my crocheting. I don't care, again, what you're selling. If I had known my value of my crochet, you know, back what I know now, back then I wouldn't have I wouldn't have spent 2-3 hours on let's just say a crocheted project for somebody and only charge them $15 or $20, if that. You get me? I wouldn't have done that because I didn't realize my time is money and my effort and what I do bring to the table is worth that, is worth. And again, we make up in our mind of what our own value is in that sense. But now that I realize, like, as an older woman, and it's based on what I guess your wants and your needs are, is how you will value or price yourself. But as a single mother, I should have been asking for a hell of a lot more in the industry. And I should have, in the industry, crocheting, selling ices, I don't care what I was selling, donuts, I should have asked for more. I really should have. But here I am, older, 49, aged, not aged like cheese, y'all, but just aging. You get what I'm saying? And, and I'm just now coming out of the closet, so to speak, of saying, damn, okay, I'm going to do it now. And a lot of women, unfortunately, in our own personal life, we could have lived a life where we gave so much of ourselves, sold ourselves short, whatever it was. And now when you hit 40, that part, you hit 35 for that matter, but you hit 40 and you're going, damn, Let me hurry up and do it now before I croak, basically. And this is why you got a lot of men or people will say, well, you've had your time, you've had your season, you've hit the wall. But as long as we have breath in our body and we have desire in our heart, I believe that we can get what we want. Because I think it's when and this is the part where I honestly believe where God's grace is so sufficient, because God knows that, in other words, as soon as I will probably get out of this industry as soon as I come to the terms with making what I would think is enough. I don't know if that makes sense, y'all, because then again, it never was about money for me in the first place, but maybe just that alone. But again, I do like what I do, and I'm glad to and proud to say that I'm still here. And above all, I am grateful for each and every one of the people that come on and have subscribed to me, have known me to be in this business for years. Shout outs to my regulars. You know who you are. My number one, if you ever see this live or this video, you guys know who the hell y'all are. I'm still slow at getting you them pictures. It is what it is. My bad. And yet my heart is in the right place. I mean well. There's a saying that says that they say the majority of people are in hell because that had good intentions, and just as a little side joke, I guess. But I'm so grateful for God, though. That again, just the grace. I'm just so appreciative of that, y'all. And so yeah, that's it. That's all. I'm out of here. If you guys have any questions to ask, of course, respectfully, you can leave them in the chat as you're listening to this replay. And don't forget to subscribe. Again, like I told you, I don't start getting nervous about the subscribers until I get to 500. We're not there yet, right? I'll stop saying it probably when I get to 5. I'll be like, okay, enough is enough. And then or God, up to God, and He might, no, 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 we're gonna do a little bit more than that. But for right now, I'm satisfied with where I'm at. And there's more to come. Cam Girl humor. Doosh. Bye for now, you guys. One love kisses. You guys will hear me or see me in the next one. All this week for this week, just this whole week, y'all coming up. And be mindful, I will post it. I am definitely going to be celebrating 31 years, y'all, in the soft adult entertainment field. I gotta go get some stuff, y'all. I just gotta. This is gonna be so fun. This is just me and the good Lord going into the sex shop. I swear, just me. I'm so silly. Me and the good Lord, please send me my sexy guardian angels. So when I go to pick out some lingerie and my sex gods be with me. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm teasing, but yeah. All of that and some. Bye for now. One love kisses. You guys will hear me or see me in the next one. I definitely had to come here. This was so unexpected and do this live. After I got off that chat, I said, not 21 years, all this time. It's not 16. It's 21, Jelena. It's not 16. It's 31. My bad. Anyways, bye, y'all. Kisses.